In early 2026, RERA overhauled Dubai's rental laws, and I want to walk you through exactly what has changed, because if you are renting in Dubai right now, or if you own a property and you rent it out, these changes affect you directly. But more importantly, when you see the full picture of what renting in Dubai now looks like legally, I think you are going to understand why more and more people are making a different decision entirely on what to do with their investment. Let's start with the tenant side, because there genuinely is good news here. The Smart Rental Index has been completely overhauled. It now uses building level data, your specific building, your floor, your view, your unit size, rather than broad area averages. That means if your landlord tries to raise your rent, the calculation is now far more precise and far harder to dispute unfairly. Eviction notice for personal use is now in law at 12 months written notice, served via a notary, public or registered mail. If your landlord wants the property back for personal use, they cannot give you 3 months notice and expect you out. It is now 12 months notice in writing via a notary. Security deposit rules are now explicit. Your landlord cannot deduct for normal wear and tear. They must return your deposit full within 30 days of the lease ending. Previously, this was quite a grey area. Now it's the law. Ejari registration is mandatory within 30 days of signing. Without Ejari, your landlord has no legal standing at the rental disputes centre. That protection is now yours by default. If you do have a dispute, the rental dispute centre fast track threshold has been raised to 100,000 dirham, with hearings completed within 15 working days. Now let me flip to the landlord side, because if you own a property and you rent it out in Dubai, these changes create a more complex operating environment than you had before. The 12-month eviction notice requirement is now strictly enforced. If you want your property back for yourself, for a family member, even if you want to renovate it, you now need to plan 12 months ahead minimum. And if you serve that notice and then re-rent the property within 2 years, your previous tenant can claim compensation of up to 1 year's rent. The Ejari 30-day registration requirement means that if you let a tenancy run without proper registration, you lose your legal standing entirely. No registration, no RDC case if your tenant stops paying. Rent increases must follow the Smart Rental Index precisely. The new building level data makes it harder to argue for what increases above the rental index permits. The cap is the cap. These are not unreasonable protections, but they do mean that owning and renting out a property in Dubai in 2026 requires significantly more structured approach than it did 2 or 3 years ago. Now, here is where I want to be honest with you about what all of this actually means. If you're renting in Dubai today, you are operating inside a legal framework that has become more protective, but it is still someone else's asset. It's someone else's decision. It's someone else's equity that you are building. The average UAE renter becomes a home owner in the 4.8 years, according to research that was published in June 2026. If you have been rented for 3 of those years already, you are past the point where buying has started to make more financial sense. If you are a landlord managing a tenancy, the new compliance framework is very, very real. You need Ejari registered on time. You need to serve your 12 months notice correctly. You need to look at the Smart Rental Index check before every single renewal. The days of managing a rental property, informally, it's over. Both of these realities point in the same direction. Owning the right property rather than renting one or landlording one informally simplifies the equation significantly. Now, how I like to look at it, off-plan specifically changes the calculation in 3 ways. First, if you buy an off-plan, you lock in today's pricing. You're not buying at the top of a recovered market. You are buying at a launch, before 3 years of construction period growth is even priced into that property. Second, your capital works during the construction period. It's very important. A typical off-plan structure in Dubai is 40% during the construction period, 60% on handover. You are controlling a full asset while the majority of your capital stays in your hands. Third, at the time of handover, you own an asset that is brand new in a community with complete fresh infrastructure. And if you have chosen the right project in a location where supply is still limited, you are not inheriting someone else's tenancy dispute or a building with a 10-year deferred maintenance. Dubai rental laws in 2026 are the most structured and protective they have ever been. That is genuinely good for the market in the long run. But the direction of travel is clear. For renters, for landlords, for anyone who is sitting on the fence about making the decision of renting or owning, the form is in the description below. If you want to understand more about what a right off-plan project looks for you, for your specific situation, fill it out. I will come back to you personally. Please also do like and subscribe this channel. It really does keep helping me make content like this. It's very important. And as always, I will see you on the next one.